Traveling with gear has never been easy for me, whether I'm going across the city or across the country. Camera gear and camera bags are very divisive products because, well, everybody has different equipment and different needs. Heck, no two shoots of mine are the same. Recently, I traveled to New York and to California for a couple gigs, which actually timed out perfectly with Nanuk launching their new line of bags. Now, they asked me to review them, and so I took a select few with me. The question I asked myself, of course, is can they convince me to give up my quasi-trusted LowePro? Well, we're gonna find out, but first, a rundown. Nanuk, known as the rugged Canadian version of Pelican, have launched a series of soft bag products. There are two general design categories. One is a collection of backpacks called the N-PVD, which also include a duffel and a courier bag. The other is a series of cubed inserts named the N-CUBIK ecosystem, which includes accessory cases called tech pouches that can fit securely in either their cases or their bags. Their bags are made to be not just outstandingly durable, but also weather resistant thanks to the YKK AquaGuard coated zippers and the PFOA PFC-free recycled polyester fabric. They do a really great job of keeping out as much moisture and dirt as possible, and in the most sustainable and environmentally conscious way. What makes the Nanuk system even more unique are their inserts. You know, these little barriers that allow you to customize the compartments in your bags. Well, these ones are rigid, but with bendable seams and with Velcro tri-base attachments. Now, is this new system and new design the savior that we've been looking for, or is it just another bag to grumble about? We're gonna answer that coming right up. This review is simply an experiential review. If you want specific details on each bag, well, Nanuk actually has a series of videos on their own YouTube channel that you should definitely watch. And of course, I'm gonna put a link in the description below. Okay, now a quick setup on how I tested the bags that I took with me. I knew that in both locations, I would be working out of my bag in a very run and gun situation. And in most cases, without a camera assistant, which means that if I can't organize it well, I'm gonna lose gear and I'm gonna get frustrated. And I can't overstate this enough. All my camera assistants know to not let me touch my own gear because I tend to lose track of things. I put them in places that they shouldn't go, or I forget that I've even put it there. Plus, I'm really hard on my gear. So I am looking for a bag system that does its best to prevent, well, me from being me. And first, I'm going to cover the bags, that means the backpacks, and then we're gonna move to the inserts. And something else that you should probably know about me is that I'm particularly critical of camera bags because prior to becoming a filmmaker, I worked in the outdoor adventure industry for 15 or more years. So you can't really pull the rug over my eyes with poor pack design. I've worn, tested, and destroyed my fair share of backpacks. So what am I looking for in a great camera bag? It's 5 things. Access to equipment and that it's designed for its intended use. I'm also looking for fit and control when it's on our body, equipment protection and organization, durability of course, and then finally, how heavy is it? What's the weight? Now let's run through each one of these as it applies to the Nanuk products. First up, of course, is access to equipment. Now this is the most divisive element because no two photographers or videographers will agree on this, simply because some, like me, won't need access to the bag until it's off the body and settled in that location, whereas others may want continual access along a journey. So how adaptable is the bag to each one of these polarities? The 35 was excellent for base camp access, which means that the bag has to be off for you to really get into it, either through the top or through the back. This is the bag that I principally used on my trip. Access gets easier as the bags get smaller, in the sense that you may not need to remove the bag. The 18 liter offers a very quick side access or through the top with some deeper storage potential. Now, the bag can't fit a large laptop, but that's not its design objective. However, you should be able to fit a small one or a tablet with ease. And the courier bag, of course, is going to give you the easiest access, but with the least amount of space. It does fit a large laptop and plenty of room for a decent amount of gear. Next up is fit, and the important takeaway here is that no two human torsos are the same. So it doesn't surprise me at all when I hear complaints about ill-fitting bags. Most bags are meant to fit men of average height well, but can really suck for women, or really anyone that is below or above average height or body type. And the 35 liter I used fit me very well. But again, I'm on the, well, shorter end of average. Brands have to choose between adjustability, durability, or control. And Nanuk has taken the durability stance, which means that I suspect small or high-waisted women are not likely going to fit the 35 liter very well. You can see when I place the same bag on my colleague Anna, that her torso is about 3 inches shorter than mine. So placing the weight on her hips means that the bag is too long for her. With no secure shoulder fit, the bag risks swaying uncontrollably to the point where it could actually cause her to be off balance or a discomfort issue. In these situations, I would look for bags that offer torso adjustment, like the Shimoda packs. They are designed more like backpacking bags. This means 3 levels of adjustability, load stabilizers, and a more robust waist belt. My sentiment, though, is that for the general audience, the N-PVD is a great, well-fitting bag and tough as nails. I'd still choose the N-PVD because of the dividers and the durability. Now, the 18-liter is going to be more friendly to various body types, as most bags under 25 liters are, because you don't have to line up the waist and shoulders. There's often even no significant waist belt. And the weight shouldn't be too excessive for your shoulders. The messenger bag is something I struggle with, though, a bit, simply because it's nothing like a bike messenger bag. It's more of a briefcase, to be honest, and that's fine if that's what you're after. Now, for reference, give me a second here.
A few moments later.
This is a messenger bag. This is from Tenba, the Tenba DNA series. A courier bag should offer a secure 2-body fit with an optional waist or countercross chest belt for additional security. This means a bag that snugs right up to the center of your back and doesn't move around or cause undue strain. Nowhere on the Nanuk courier bag is there any form of stabilization, nor is there any way to configure the removable strap so that you can get a secure fit where it's sort of in the center of your back. Thus, I can confidently say that it's just not a messenger bag. And I don't not like this bag, but it doesn't really make sense for me. I would not feel comfortable wearing this for any extended period of time, and riding a bike with it would be borderline dangerous. This is an otherwise well-designed bag that, due to its fit, limits its use. Now, the third point, which is protection and organization, and this one has been a huge one for me over the years. I am beyond confident that these bags offer as good, if not better, protection than the typical soft camera bag that you're used to. If there are particularly fragile things, you can simply design a double barrier with the dividers. The dividers offer a much more secure level of protection and customization than the traditional floppy foam dividers. To me, this is the principal strength of the Nanuk pack system, and a reason to switch over. The bags also include these red elasticated hold straps that can be attached in many creative ways to hold gear in place, or just simply for quicker access. Next up would be durability. This is the other reason, I think, to move over to the Nanuk bag system. They are amongst the most bomb-proof designs I've ever seen in a camera bag. Now, I never got to toss my 35-liter over a cliff or drag it behind a truck, but save for a few scratches, the bag held up pretty well from the desert floor to the airplane door. The metal 9 hooks are a superior way of getting a stronger latch, but also infinitely more durable than plastic buckles. The only thing I can see really weighing out here or breaking at any point in time are the zippers. Now, this is no slight at all against Nanuk. They have YKK zippers, and those are the best money can buy. But moving parts wear out, especially coil zippers. Now, this is repairable, but the more turns a zipper has or the more you overpack your bag, the quicker you will wear them out. In this way, Nanuk bags aren't any better or worse than any other camera bag. Think of zippers sort of like car tires. The greater the mileage, the greater the wear. Which means that if you're in and out of your bag a lot versus only when you arrive at location, well, one obviously is going to see a broken zipper sooner than later. Additionally, sandy environments will often exponentially wear out coil zippers, so cleaning them every time you had an encounter with significant debris will extend its life. And as I just mentioned, the good news is that most often these zippers can be replaced. And in my conversation with Nanuk, they said that because these bags are new, as in they've only been doing hardshell cases until now, they're not really sure yet what will and won't be covered in their lifetime warranty. But I can tell you that for the most part, if a zipper looks unusually damaged or if it breaks quickly, after purchase, then most often this is of course a warranty issue. But if the teeth are just worn out like treads on a tire, well, then you're more likely on the hook to get the zipper replaced on your own, which I actually can't recommend enough as a way to extend the bag's life. Of course, keep it out of the landfill. For the most part, unless you're using these bags every single day, then even the zippers are unlikely to ever be an issue for you. And while the next thing I want to talk about doesn't fit under the durability column, it's related. Because my favorite aspect of these bags were the handle that was tucked into where the spine would be. And this means grabbing and passing the bag off won't damage other parts of the bag that are less robust. it's easier to handle, and travel with the bag can be treated a bit like a duffel bag. And lastly, weight. And while weight is the last on the list, it is still very important. For one, carrying a bag full of gear is taxing enough, and you don't need the bag to significantly add to your strain. But mostly, this is an issue with airline travel restrictions. Now, I found it rare for airlines to weigh carry-ons, but I know that I've been hosed in the past with my bags making up like 10 to 40% of my weight allowance, which is significant when your contents are usually cameras, glass, batteries, and filters. What I love about the 35 is that it weighs only 2.25 kilograms, which is less than 20% of the carry-on allowance. And that may seem significant, 20%, but for how robust the bag is, it's actually notably light. And outside of the bags, the duffel can be seen as sort of a soft bag version of their Nanuk 980 or Nanuk 938. It can also be converted into a backpack for hoofing it over challenging terrain or across the city. The cool thing about the duffel is how it integrates with their new Cubic system. As such, this is a great segue to discuss the packing cubes. There are a number of iterations of the packing cube system. Other than size, they all share the same dividers as the packs. What's great about them is that the lids are removable, so once you've established base camp, you're not fighting floppy lids all the time. Size compatibility means also being able to move back and forth between the different bags, keeping the contents consistent per cubic. When moving to a case with wheels, the cubics can bend at the corners, and that's going to accommodate for the wheel wells, keeping everything neat and flush. And finally, we arrive at the tech pouches. Now, I use the T2 and the T3. The T2 is very well designed and allowed me to keep the most important things handy, like media, cables, and small tools. And the T3 is something that is a bit more robust and also minimal. And this was the perfect pouch for my backup drives. And honestly, I think that the tech pouches may be the favorite product of mine out of this entire line. I'm a sucker for organization, and these provide a great system for organizing within your pack versus just trying to shove all these things in various pockets, corners, and crannies. And that's it. I'd love to know what you guys have to say about these. Do you think they offer something that other brands aren't offering? I know for me, that it's the divider system, which I really loved and kind of makes it harder to go back to my crappy old LowePro bag. The rest, I don't know. I think that's new for the brand, and time will tell how popular they become. As always, thank you so much for watching. For more stellar content like this, please subscribe to this channel and comment in the comment section below. For me, for now, you know what it is. I'm out. Peace.